1 year ago, I bought my dream Lamborghini. I thought I had everything figured out. I'd watch the videos just like you are right now. I would read the forums and I convinced myself I knew exactly what ownership would be like. But after 1 full year, I've realized I was wrong about a lot of different things. Today, I'm sharing the 5 biggest mistakes I've made during my first year of Lamborghini ownership. If you're thinking about buying a Lamborghini or any dream car, hopefully these lessons help you avoid making the same mistakes. So let's go ahead and start with the biggest one, but I will say that number 4 is going to be the one that surprises most people. So definitely stay tuned for the whole thing. Number 1 is going to be the fact that I waited too long to buy my dream car. Now, granted, at the making of this video, I am in my mid-30s, I'm 36. This was without a doubt my biggest mistake. 4 years, I kept telling myself, maybe next year, maybe prices will come down, maybe I should wait until everything is perfect. Now, don't get me wrong, you should never buy a Lamborghini if it puts you in a bad financial position. I don't recommend that at all. But once you're truly in a place where you can comfortably afford things, once you have your plan, don't spend years talking yourself out of it. Buying this car gave me experiences I'll never forget. They introduced me to amazing people. It inspired this YouTube channel that you're watching right now. It motivated me to keep growing my businesses. And honestly, every time I walk into the garage, I'm still in disbelief that I have this vehicle. If I could change one thing, I would have stopped overthinking and just bought the dream car sooner. Now, I will say that a lot of people don't have the opportunity to kind of say this, but I guarantee you that if you're watching videos like this, you're already setting yourself up for success, and then you yourself can eventually find yourself in the same position. Once you kind of get to a point where you have your plan, where you have your income going, and then you start to get your investments going, you're going to kind of come to a point where you have your systems all set up, and then you can clearly look down the years, down the decades down the road, where you can kind of expect how much income you're going to be getting, or how much your net worth is going to be. One of my biggest goals was to become a billionaire. Granted, I'm still on that path, but then there was a point where I kind of asked myself, why do I want to become a billionaire? Why would I want to be somebody who's waiting for down the road to kind of celebrate the wins? Because being rich and all is great, but is even more better if you could do it at an early age, because you never really know what's going to happen down the road. So that's why I kind of bring this point out there. But yes, I've got systems set up that where I know I'm going to be okay, but for some reason it was really difficult for me to just kind of live life in the moment, so to speak, live for today, because again, you never know what's going to happen down the road. So once you do put in the hard work, you have your income going, you have your investments going, and then you can set yourself up for a Lamborghini. Definitely just go ahead and pull the trigger once you're in that comfortable position, because the car will make you money in ways that you never imagined. I say this in my channels all the time. A lot of people think a Lambo is just going to be pulling money out of your pocket, but I'm here to tell you that it will be your most profitable car that you will ever own. Number 2 was going to be the fact of not driving it enough. Before I got my car, I even set up a whole plan where I just wanted to drive the car for about 2,500 miles a year. This was really stupid. When I first bought the car, I was obsessed with keeping the miles low. I kept thinking, what about resale value? Should I just take my Civic out today? I'll save the Lamborghini for another day. Looking back, that mindset was completely backwards. Some of my favorite memories came from just random drives with no destination at all. These cars are not meant to sit in a garage. They are performance cars. They are meant to be driven. They are healthiest whenever they are driven. The experiences I've had behind the wheel are worth far more than a few extra miles on the odometer. So this is a huge thing too, because you think to yourself, you got your Lamborghini, you just want to keep on preserving it. You don't want to rack up the miles. I too was like that at first, but then the more you kind of realize that life is short, that you're kind of just holding yourself back, you're in the mindset of waiting. That's not really the mindset you want to be in. You want to be in a mindset where you're always just in a go fashion, because if you just kind of live in a mindset where you're just trying to preserve things, where you're trying to save things, you're not necessarily growing. Say for example, if I just kept my Lambo sitting in the garage, putting no miles on it, not only is that not really healthy for the battery, not healthy for the car overall, but it would take away from me doing videos like you're watching right now. Not only that, I'd be losing out on really cool experiences. Just yesterday, it was July 4th, and I had the decision of just kind of leaving the car in the garage because I knew it was going to rain later on throughout the day. But I still brought the car knowing that other family members were still going to be there, and then that I could share that moment with them and create a really funny memory where I did a cold start on the car and it just blew the family away in awe. And then a funny thing happened where my uncle got on his lawnmower and then he tried to do a cold start on that too. So it was little things like that where you just want to not overthink about the miles of the car. One of the biggest things about the Huracan is that it is a super reliable car, so I have no guilt on putting on miles, and I know that it's going to last for a very long time. Also, a quick video plug. A lot of people ask me how exactly I managed my finances and did my investing to be able to afford the car in my mid-30s. If you yourself want to learn everything there is to know about all that, about the mindset that I have, check out this QR code or the link right down below. It goes to my program, Zero to Lambo. It'll set you up for life. Number 3 is going to be the fact of underestimating how much attention it gets. This one completely caught me off guard, probably one of the biggest ones. I knew people would notice the car. I just didn't realize how often. Kids wave, people take pictures, have their phones out constantly. Drivers pull out their phones, they go a little bit off the road because they're super distracted. You'll get stopped at gas stations and questioned and interviewed. Complete strangers will come over just to tell you it's their dream car. The vast majority of attention has actually been incredibly positive. One of my favorite parts of owning this car is seeing how excited it makes other people feel. But there are definitely days where you just want to grab a coffee or do a quick errand, and suddenly you've been talking in a parking lot for 15 to 20 minutes, and nobody prepares you for that. Now, I've owned a couple of other fancy cars before this. I've had a G82 M4, I've had a Lexus RCF V8, Audi S5 whenever I was 20 years old. So I've had my share of different types of performance cars, not like this. But when you grow up as a car person, you start to appreciate cars in general. You know that there's a big difference between an S5 and an M4 and an RCF. You clearly see it. And then if you know cars, a BMW M4 is also quick, a Lamborghini is also quick. Both are pretty cool cars. Both are pretty fancy cars, but it's just something about the branding of a Lamborghini that just significantly increases the gap between cars. I knew there was a big difference between an M4 and a Lambo, and not that much different in terms of performance, which is the truth. The performance-wise are not that different. But to the general public, this gap couldn't be any more wider. I would say the general public would think the difference between an M4 and a Lambo, or even just the Huracan, is probably about 6 to 7 times the difference. People, they definitely go a bit more crazy than expected whenever you pull up in a Lambo. And I didn't think that it was that big of a difference, but to the general public, again, it's quite significant. So you start seeing phones out, you start questioning if you want to go for a drive at a certain time of the day. You tend to take roads that are not too populated with other cars just because you don't want too many crazy things happening around the vehicle, stuff like that. Number 4 is going to be the one I mentioned earlier, and that was thinking that the car was going to cost more than it actually did. This one may surprise a lot of people because in this one, there's going to be a few things that a lot of people don't really tell you about owning a Lambo. Before I bought the car, I honestly thought I was going to be writing massive repair checks every month. I thought that I was going to be paying hundreds in maintenance, hundreds in gas. That's what the internet makes you believe. That's what people kind of think that these cars actually cost. But the reality is very, very different. Has it been expensive? Of course. It's still a Lambo. Insurance is not cheap. Mine is only about $300 a month. Fuel isn't cheap. But again, my car is just a weekend car. Maintenance isn't cheap either. But after one full year, the costs were actually more predictable than I had expected. I had routine maintenance, insurance, gas, and the protection upgrades. I chose to do things like PPF, ceramic coating. There weren't surprise repairs constantly draining my bank account at all. The biggest expense wasn't unexpected problems. It was simply the cost of owning an expensive car. I'd say probably the most expensive thing is the amount of time you may lose driving the car and being pulled over to the side whenever you're just trying to get things done. This isn't a car that I would use to get things done, to be honest, because you honestly just won't. To me, it's a weekend car. I only have the car out. I'm only around the car whenever I'm fully ready to just engage in conversation and just kind of be more relaxed. But yes, it's true, the costs are not that much, and the biggest thing that people don't really tell you is that the most important thing about buying a Lambo is the timing. So I bought my Huracan right before it was just about discontinued, or just had discontinued. And by doing that, the value of the car has went up by about 20 to 30 grand just at the making of this video, just within the first year of owning the vehicle. Because it's the last V10, the replacement is a V8 twin turbo hybrid. Performance on the new one, the replacement is extremely nice, but you can never beat the sound of the V10 no matter what. And so it's going to be a collectible as the years go on, and the value is going to keep going up. And then the other thing is that the vehicle can be used as a business machine. So this YouTube channel you're watching right now is based around owning a Lambo. The YouTube channel pays me in ad revenue every single month, which helps pay for the car a significant amount. And then the more that I just keep on posting, the more that the channel keeps on growing, the more that I get paid, and then the more other products that I could use the channel for to sell to viewers down the road. So the cost for a Lambo is not that bad. You do have to time the buy. You have to know which one you're buying. If you buy a brand new first year model year, that may depreciate the most. But if you buy a later model year that is just about to be discontinued, that is your sweet spot, that you basically treat as you putting money into a savings account that has wheels on it. And number 5 is going to be worrying too much about every little thing. When I first bought the car, I worried about everything. Every rock chip, every speed bump, every strange noise, every person parking next to me. I've spent so much time trying to protect the experience that I forgot to enjoy it. Eventually, I realized something. Dream cars are supposed to be driven. That's the whole purpose. Yes, take care of them, protect them, maintain them, but don't let fear steal the reason why you bought the car in the first place. Today I'm still careful, but I do actually enjoy every drive. There's been times where I purposely wouldn't drive the car because I knew that roads were under construction, but I learned to just kind of swallow the bullet and just drive the car into those uncomfortable situations and just adjust things along the way. Yesterday, after a full year, was probably one of the first days that I've ever driven the car in the rain, but I wasn't about to let rain just kind of take away moments that I was going to have with family and friends. So that's just one of the things that I'm talking about here. Another thing about rain is that I hate to drive in it because it does ruin a nice car wash you've had before. But another pro on that was that I planned on getting my car detailed for free within the same week, so I didn't mind getting the car a little bit dirty. So looking back after 1 year, it's funny because none of my biggest mistakes had anything to do with the Lambo itself. These were all mistakes on a mindset. Owning the car has been one of the best experiences of my life, and if you're working toward your dream car, I hope that this video also gave you a more honest picture of what ownership is really like. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it, subscribe for more real Lambo ownership content, and let me know what's your dream car. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all for the next one.